We have an update on the mass shooting in Tumbler Ridge, BC that left 9 people dead, including the shooter. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that employees at OpenAI raised alarms about her months before the attack, but company leaders decided not to contact authorities beforehand. Dan Burr joins us now to talk about this. So, Dan, what are we learning?
This is quite a report from the Wall Street Journal. The paper says well before the February 10th shooting, OpenAI says it considered telling law enforcement about Jesse Van Rootselaar's interaction with its chat bot, which is known as ChatGPT. This is an image released by the RCMP of Jesse Van Rootselaar. The journal says sources tell them that while using the chatbot last June, Van Rootselaar described scenarios involving gun violence over several days. Those posts, which were flagged by an automated review system, reportedly alarmed staff at OpenAI. The journal reports that about a dozen employees debated whether or not to do something about Van Rootselaar's post and urged their leaders to tell Canadian police about her behavior. It says OpenAI leaders ultimately decided not to. Now, in a statement to CBC News, OpenAI says it did ban Van Rootselaar's account in June, but determined at the time that the case did not meet its threshold for alerting police. And that threshold is an imminent and credible risk of serious physical harm to others. Going on, here's a portion of what OpenAI told us. It says, quote, "Our thoughts are with everyone affected by the Tumbler Ridge tragedy. We proactively reached out to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police with information on the individual and their use of ChatGPT and will continue supporting their investigation." But that was after the shooting.
Yeah. So, I mean, the company has now spoken to the police, informed the police about this. What are we hearing from the police?
We have a short statement from the RCMP. It says, in part from the BC RCMP, digital and physical evidence is being collected, prioritized, and methodically processed. I can also confirm, says Chris Clark with the RCMP, that the platform reached out to the RCMP after the incident being the shooting that left 8 people dead, 5 of them students, a teacher, as well as Jesse Van Rootselaar's mother, half-brother, and eventually Jesse herself. There were concerns that OpenAI talked about in terms of privacy, Sarah, that we've talked about, but this will raise more questions about perhaps why there may have been a delay or why OpenAI made that decision and what that threshold means. Again, it did shut down her account in June, it says, but why it did not inform police about that is because apparently it did not meet the threshold for doing so.
Dan, thank you.
You're welcome.